I mean, trying to get to a fight. Couldn't get the welterweight title, definitely not getting the middleweight title. Like, talk about a waste of potential. That's about it.
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
The rivalry between middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis and top contender Khamzat Chimaev is reaching a boiling point, with both fighters trading increasingly personal jabs in the lead up to their UFC 319 clash. Breaking down the fight, Joe Rogan and his team discussed the upcoming clash between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. While some favor Du Plessis, Joe expressed that it's extremely difficult for anyone to beat Chimaev. He emphasized Chimaev's ability to shoot for takedowns from long range, and noted that in his past fights, Chimaev has consistently given his opponents a tough time from the very start.
I would give DDP the advantage over Khamzat right now. That's a bet on it.
It's hard to say
It's
because
hard,
we don't know what happens.
There's so many
Khamzat.
question marks. We don't know.
Khamzat just shoots from like 15 feet away and gets a hold of your
But
legs
I look
so
at the
quick.
Kamaru. He didn't do that to Kamaru Usman. He didn't do it to Gilbert
He
Burns.
did,
We go
but-
in the third, fourth, and fifth.
He gave Usman for the first 3 rounds a nightmare. He was
Yeah,
And he gassed
taking
out,
him down.
but he
Yeah.
couldn't finish him.
That's
That's
true.
an older
True.
Usman.
That's true.
That's not a vintage Usman.
was-
in their prime?
He was
DDP.
taking him down decisively.
Who was
though. He
Khamzat
outrageous.
supposed to fight? That was a last-minute replacement. Was Usman? Who
Nate
was
Diaz.
Khamzat?
And then he put in.
God.
That's right.
And then they put in
That was-
Kevin Holland.
That would have been hard.
That would have been
bad.
Yeah, that
That
would
would've
have
been
been.
The UFC was like, we're getting backlash.
Yeah, that would have been.
We're getting some backlash
That
here.
would've
Let's
been
Kevin, you
crazy.
down? He's like, I guess.
At the same time, Joe pointed out how fighting Khamzat Chimaev can be an intimidating challenge. He reflected on Chimaev's fight with Robert Whittaker, noting how Chimaev mercilessly broke Whittaker's jaw, raising serious concerns about the difficulty Du Plessis will face leading up to his fight with Khamzat.
He does it to everybody. Everybody he gets a hold of, he just ragdolls. And Robert Whittaker, like seeing him breaking Robert Whittaker's jaw just by squeezing across his face. Because this was like Chimaev got the blade of his forearm across the jaw, and it was like just crushing those teeth, and it goes into his mouth. You saw the photo?
Yeah.
What it looks like?
Joe Rogan further highlighted how Khamzat Chimaev inflicted so much damage on a seasoned world champion like Robert Whittaker. He recalled the intensity of the punishment Chimaev delivered, noting how relentless Khamzat was in keeping the pressure on Robert. Rogan emphasized that Chimaev never gave Whittaker a single chance to recover or stand back up.
Who knows? I mean, Chimaev was smothering him. Whittaker looked exhausted.
It was very early in the fight too.
Yep, first round.
Says that Robert only landed 2 strikes.
Wow.
That's crazy. I don't even know what he hit him with.
Yeah.
Might have hit him with a
Crazy.
leg kick. I don't remember. I just remember Khamzat shooting.
Yeah, 2 leg kicks.
Yeah, there it is. 2 leg kicks. So Khamzat just shot in on him and just started beating the out of him. When Robert got up once, Khamzat dove on him again and had him down again in a second. So it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Khabib as well, where like you get up, you get straight back down, and
Yep.
then you just run out of energy, right?
Maybe even more intense, because maybe even more dominant. You know, like to do that to Whittaker like that, a guy who's a world champion.
At the same time, Dricus dismissed the narrative that Khamzat Chimaev is unbeatable. He argued that Chimaev hasn't faced many truly tough opponents, with the exception of Robert Whittaker. Du Plessis emphasized that the UFC isn't just about being great at grappling or striking, it's about excelling in all areas. He also criticized Chimaev for failing to secure the welterweight title and now shifting his focus to the middleweight division.
Khamzat is an incredible fighter. Nobody has been able to beat him, but he hasn't fought anybody of note other than Robert Whittaker. That is it. This is not a grappling competition. I am not the best grappler, wrestler, or striker. When we mix it all up, I am. That's why I have this. He couldn't even get a title at welterweight. Now he wants to come to middleweight. Great.
As UFC 319 approaches, the rivalry between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis is intensifying. Known for his brash persona and sharp tongue, Chimaev has directed his focus squarely at Du Plessis and his coaching team. He recently took to social media to mock Du Plessis' coaches, signaling a deeper level of animosity in the lead up to their clash.
You get that title back for the normal people, man. This game to have the belt, man. Not normal. First time I've ever seen hurt African.
At another point, when Khamzat Chimaev was asked about Dricus Du Plessis and his grappling skills, he showed little concern. Chimaev pointed out that Du Plessis has been taken down by opponents before, hinting at his fight with Robert Whittaker, and mocked his overall skill set, claiming that Du Plessis poses no real threat to him in the octagon.
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
In response, Dricus Du Plessis mocked Khamzat Chimaev's comments, brushing them off as nothing more than Chimaev's typical over-the-top antics. He described Khamzat's remarks as ridiculous and laughable, saying it's just part of his usual act. In a climate where mental warfare is as crucial as physical skill, both fighters are escalating their pre-fight rhetoric in an effort to gain a psychological edge. Chimaev has shown in past bouts that he can effectively disrupt his opponents mentally, and he seems poised to use the same tactics against Du Plessis, an opponent known for his sharp wit and strong mental resilience inside the octagon. Meanwhile, Joe also shared his thoughts on Dricus Du Plessis, acknowledging his strong wrestling and impressive jiu-jitsu skills. However, he expressed doubts about Du Plessis' ability to withstand someone like Khamzat Chimaev, who he believes possesses grappling skills on an entirely different level within the division. Rogan went on to highlight Chimaev's elite abilities, admitting they make him genuinely concerned for Du Plessis in this matchup.
So he's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. It's like, there's some guys, like you see it in jiu-jitsu. There's some guys that look really good until they fight somebody who's really, really good. And then they get manhandled. You know, it's like everybody looks good until they face Gordon Ryan. Like, Gordon Ryan can do that to anybody. Like, is Khamzat at that level? Well, it kind of appears that he is. It appears that he's, in terms of like the grappling that he possesses, seems magnitudes greater than anybody else in his division.
Similarly, Francis Foster also noted that Khamzat Chimaev not only holds a physical advantage over Dricus Du Plessis, but also possesses a far more advanced skill set. Agreeing with this stance, Joe Rogan added that Du Plessis is in for a real challenge this time. He reflected on Chimaev's fight with Gilbert Burns, calling it a hard-fought war that was extremely close.
It's that skill thing that we talk about. When you can have athleticism, you can have strength, but when you come up against someone whose skill is far superior to yours, eventually you're going to burn out, because there's only a finite amount of strength and power that you have got. And eventually, if you're fighting somebody who can match you physically but also has the skill on top of it, I mean, you're kind of done, really, unless you get lucky with a punch.
I guess counter argument might be, and you'll correct me, Joe, Gilbert Burns' fight, he won, but he was close.
It was very close. I think it's at 170. I don't think he's the same guy at 170. Yeah. I also think Gilbert is tough as fuck. I mean, it was a war. He dropped Chimaev. He cracked him with the right hand. But Chimaev, even when he got dropped, he dove in and took him down. Like, he's fucking good, man.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen has weighed in with his prediction for the showdown. He stated that if Dricus Du Plessis can survive the first round against Khamzat Chimaev, he might have a chance to come out victorious. However, Sonnen believes Chimaev is the favorite and would likely defeat Du Plessis in most scenarios.
I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite, and he is.
Speaking about Khamzat Chimaev being the favorite, Chael referred to him as the darling of the MMA media. He emphasized that Chimaev's recent victories over top opponents are worthy of Hall of Fame recognition, while acknowledging that betting odds can vary due to financial factors. Sonnen insisted that Chimaev is the clear favorite heading into this fight.
Obviously, you think Chimaev would be the favorite. Obviously. He is the media darling of our sport. He's a #1 contender now, a third time over. 3 times. His last 2 wins were over world champions who are both guaranteed to be in the Hall of Fame. He is completely unbeaten. I just want to know, do you guys find that a surprise that he is the favorite? I'd have been stunned if he wasn't. Now, I was a little bit stunned with the odds because it's almost even money. You're talking about a plus 145 for Dricus, and this is right at DraftKings right now. You're talking about a negative 170 for Chimaev.
Besides favoring Khamzat Chimaev in this fight, Chael Sonnen pointed out that it's not as one-sided as it might seem. He noted that if this matchup had happened 4 years ago, expectations would have been very different, as Dricus Du Plessis was still building his name. Now, however, Du Plessis has proven himself, and beating him won't be nearly as easy.
That fight gets closer, that fight is not quite as obvious. Like, if you would have taken this poll 2 years ago, you'd have had about a 4.5 to 1 spread favoring Chimaev. We would have done this a couple of years ago. Dricus wasn't the champion of the world. In fact, Dricus wasn't even on a main card. Dricus is jerking the curtain and trying to get his name out there on social media. I mean, what a difference a day is made for Dricus Du Plessis. And now there's really no telling where the bottom's at. I mean, this isn't a simple fight where you go, well, go out and take him down. It's like, yeah, good luck. Go out and take him down. Yes, true. And then you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there.
Praising Dricus Du Plessis, Sonnen noted that he admires his confidence in stepping up to face Khamzat Chimaev. He recalled Chimaev being a top contender on 3 separate occasions, delivering standout performances each time across different weight classes without being fazed by any opponent. In Sonnen's view, having the courage to go up against someone like that is worthy of respect.
I like what Dricus is doing with this even more. I like that Dricus is pushing right around Chimaev. I mean, Chimaev has been the boogie monster in everybody's closet at 170 and 185 pounds. He started to creep into the dreams and nightmares of 205 pounders for a brief period of time there. Now he's made it pretty clear that 205 safe, 170 you're safe, and 185 I'm coming for all of you. And finding an opponent for Chimaev has been wildly difficult. This guy has been a three-time #1 contender. 3 different times he won the match needed to win to earn himself a world title fight.
Breaking down his upcoming fight with Khamzat Chimaev, Dricus Du Plessis expressed strong confidence in his ability to win. He acknowledged that while it's possible for Chimaev to take him down, Chimaev has no idea what he'll be up against in trying to do so. Du Plessis emphasized his own wrestling skills, pointing out that Chimaev has been taken down before by fighters like Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman.
But, I know for a fact Khamzat is shooting. That's a fact. I don't think, just like everybody else, he knows what he's going to feel when he is Khamzat going to be able to take me down? Absolutely. Absolutely, he'll be able to take me down. This is how a fight works. I would hope so. Isn't he like some Swedish champion or something? I would hope he could take me down. But then he has to deal with me on the ground and he has to keep me there. Can I take Khamzat down? Absolutely. Am I going to take Khamzat down? Absolutely. And that then we're entering an area that he doesn't know. He got taken down by Gilbert Burns. He got taken down by Usman. We've seen him beat.
Dricus Du Plessis also shared his thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev's unusual comments and social media posts. He pointed out that Chimaev failed to capture a title at welterweight and expressed confidence that he won't succeed in claiming the middleweight belt either. Du Plessis suggested that Chimaev's pursuit of the title could ultimately prove to be a waste of time.
Do we have a message for Khamzat Chimaev?
I'll see you when I see you. I think he tweeted something. He actually tweeted, because when his tweets make sense, it's his agent, and when it's just like random English words in a certain, it's him, and he said this fight, yeah. Well, I mean, trying to get to a fight, couldn't get the welterweight title, definitely not getting the middleweight title. Like, talk about a waste of potential. That's about it.
Speaking about the potential fight with Khamzat Chimaev, Dricus Du Plessis acknowledged that Chimaev has a reputation for overwhelming opponents early, often dominating in the first or third round. However, he made it clear that it won't be the case against him. Du Plessis further warned Chimaev to come fully prepared, stating that he's not afraid to wrestle and is entering the octagon with a solid game plan and unwavering confidence.
Being as dominant as anybody can be in the first round. We've seen him being as exhausted as anybody can be in the third round. This is a 5-rounder. Bring your first round. I am going to meet you in the middle and we are going to wrestle. We can wrestle that first round, the whole first round. And then we come out in that second round and we'll see what we feel like. And we can wrestle for you have around a minute left in that second round, and then we're going to fight my fight. Then we're going to wrestle on my terms, and then we're going to strike on my terms. That's what I think. I think everybody has been moving backwards, trying to evade that takedown. No. I'm not scared of Khamzat wrestling. I'm not evading. I'm not trying to stay off the ground.
Meanwhile, MMA Guru and Demetrius Johnson offered their breakdown of the upcoming fight between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. MMA Guru leaned toward Du Plessis, suggesting he would survive the first round and that the second round could be highly competitive. Both analysts discussed how Du Plessis might approach the challenge of facing Chimaev, emphasizing the strategic elements he'll need to bring into the octagon.
Go DDP.
DDP.
I think he'll survive the first round. Second round will be competitive. He might get taken down again.
Okay.
But I think he'll shoot in. I don't know. If I'm DDP, I'm shooting in on Chimaev.
Okay.
He might not be thinking that. He might think that's dumb.
Yeah, I don't think he'll shoot
No,
him. I think he'll do.
You know what I mean? He'll choose something. If he is getting taken down, he'd be like, I'm pulling guard.
Yeah, I would
getting
hope
dragged.
he had that.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if he does have that IQ of like, it's gonna be on my terms, where I want you to land.
And I'm not going to be cramped up against a cage.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the center first.
Yep.
If you shoot early, we're in the center of the cage. I'm in guard.
Yep.
I'm not getting cramped up in guard up against the cage where I can't maneuver and I can't get to a leg and I can't pull an arm bar because the cage is there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think he takes the center early, doesn't stuff it.
Sharing his game plan for Dricus Du Plessis, MMA Guru emphasized that if Du Plessis doesn't stick to a disciplined approach, Khamzat Chimaev will have a greater chance to land his powerful strike. However, if Du Plessis remains composed and keeps Chimaev on the defensive, he could secure a victory. Both MMA Guru and Demetrius Johnson favored Du Plessis in their predictions, suggesting he could score a knockout or a decisive takedown in the third or fourth round.
Doesn't stuff it.
Yep.
Lets it.
Yep.
Flops right to his back, but it'll be so easy for Chimaev, whereas other people might put up a better sprawl.
Yeah.
It'll be so easy that he'll land better for himself, in a better situation for himself. So I think DDP round 4, round 3 TKO.
Sean Strickland also shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. He acknowledged that both fighters are skilled grapplers, making the matchup difficult to predict. Strickland noted that if Du Plessis can successfully counter Chimaev's wrestling, he could create a real opportunity to secure a win. Jamahal Hill, while sharing his thoughts, pointed out that Khamzat Chimaev tends to fade in the later rounds of his fight, often slowing down both his grappling and striking. He acknowledged that Chimaev is highly technical, but also praised Dricus Du Plessis for his fighting style and the significant progress he has made. However, Hill added that Chimaev seems destined for a title and concluded by saying, "Let's see what happens."
Seeing Chimaev fades towards the end of fights. As we've seen with the Usman fight, I think if the Usman fight was 5 rounds, I believe Chimaev might lose that fight. You know, the striking, I believe, is kind of like neck and neck, but from what I've seen as far as like the grappling, I believe Chimaev is the more technical, well-rounded grappler, if you will. And but Du Plessis is strong for that weight class. So it's an interesting match. I think it's an interesting match that it can, you know what I mean? So we're gonna see. They've been saying since the beginning Chimaev was destined for title and for championship. So we're gonna see if he can get it done. I can't doubt you.
Meanwhile, Jamahal emphasized that there's no reason to doubt Dricus Du Plessis' abilities, noting that every time he's counted out, he finds a way to come out on top.
Du Plessis, bro. Every time, any questions that I've ever had or any doubts I've ever had about him, fucking comes out and he wins.
UFC 319 is about to blow the roof off the fight world. Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis, 2 warriors, 1 cage, and no backing down. From brutal trash talk to bold predictions and expert breakdowns, this fight has everything. You don't want to miss what's coming, so if you're hyped for this middleweight war, hit that like button, drop a comment with your predictions, share this video with your fight crew, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest fight talk and analysis.